Okay, this is a meeting of the Hanson Recreation Department, or Commission, sorry. It is Monday, July 18th at 6:41 p.m. and I'm going to pass the meeting over to the Administrative Assistant, Dory.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At this time, I will ask for nominations for Chairman. Are there any nominations?
I nominate Frank to be chair because he loves it so much.
Excellent. Are there any other nominations for chair? Hearing none.
Sheila?
Is there
No.
a second? For nomination?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Congratulations, Mr. Chairman. I will now turn the meeting back over to you for Vice Chair and Secretary.
Okay, so I will entertain a motion for Vice Chair. Essentially what that is it is somebody just to fill into the meetings when I'm not here, somebody just to run stuff by and things like that. So there's only two of you. So
Can I nominate myself? I'll do it if.
Can I nominate people?
You can step down as chair and nominate Melissa. Sure.
Wait.
You just say I'm stepping down as chair and nominating Melissa for vice chair.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I'll do that. Sheila, do you have no interest in being vice chair? Okay. Well, she gets the esteemed privilege of secretary then. Okay, so I will step down as chair and nominate Melissa Scartesi as the vice chair. Yes.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor? Okay. And that. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't do a roll call vote either since we're only on audio. So.
Yeah,
so
not necessary.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, because we're on audio.
Okay.
So if we can just go through the can we go through the chair motion again? Just do a roll call.
Absolutely.
Okay. So if you want to call roll call for the chair, motion for me as chair.
Yep. Okay. So roll call for Frank Malisi as chair. So
Melissa Scartesi, yes. Aye.
Sheila Morse, yes.
And Frank Malisi is yes. And then also, so the motion now is for Melissa Scartesi as chair. I'm sorry, vice chair. So Sheila.
Sheila, yes.
Frank is a yes, and Melissa.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I will nominate a motion for secretary.
I nominate Sheila.
Okay. Melissa nominates Sheila as secretary. All those in favor, Frank is an aye. Melissa,
aye.
And Sheila?
Sheila, aye.
Awesome, great. That's fantastic. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. It's always fun. You know what? Honestly, like as much as I might complain about it, we've done a lot in the last year. So we've gotten a lot of work done. So hopefully it gets going still. So another thing, if anybody's listening to this meeting, we also have a position open in the Recreation Committee. If anybody's interested in applying, they can go to Town Hall and do that to be appointed to the Recreation Committee. Second order of business, it looks like Joseph Cushing is not here, so we're going to go ahead and table that discussion. The third order of business is discussion on vendor contracts. So this is something that we need to get in the process of and going through our contracts. The town does not want us to do an 80-20 split anymore where it's not needed. So for example, for drama kids, paint night, things like that, I think it would be a better option to have it charged by event. So I'm just throwing out a random number. This is not the set number, but for example, if drama kids, we would charge them $50 for every time they use the hall, something to cover our caretaker fee and stuff like that. I'm just floating around ideas about that. For things like Roger's Fun Tour and then the bar service, those would kind of need to remain in 80-20 because they're more of a cash-based system, and we can get those receipts from them. But for things like drama kids, we don't really have an idea of how many kids are coming in one class between another. I really want to get out of the practice of going into people's finances when we don't need to. So I would prefer to have it more as a fee-based use. The purpose of this being on the agenda was not necessarily to vote on a number tonight, but we can kind of vote on a method, and with a little bit more input from the actual vendors, we can go into what works for drama kids, what works for paint night, what works for things like that, because I don't want to set a number like some number and it be too high.
Well, especially with drama kids because they are here every week, right?
Exactly.
It's a lot.
Exactly.
So you just want to make sure that,
Yeah, twice a week.
yeah.
Yeah, if they're here twice a week, I mean, at the base level, we should be covering our caretaker costs. At the very base level, we should be covering our caretaker costs. So if they're here for an hour a night, then great, we can, something. If they're here for, 3 hours a night, then we will have to cover that, so.
Yeah, and I think the issue too, like over the past year or two, has been, we haven't, because of COVID, our operational expenses, like to turn the heat on, that was a real issue. I think now we're in a little bit better place with the increased rates and all that kind of stuff.
Correct.
So I feel like turning the heat on in the building isn't as much of a burden to us, especially in the wintertime.
Apparently the AC's not either. It's
Well,
freezing in
right.
there.
That too.
Yeah, it is wicked cold.
Yeah.
So that's fine. So I guess we can make a motion of getting an 80-20 and kind of a flat fee contract. Maybe we can get it drawn up, and then we can get more input from the actual vendors and how much they can pay. Hopefully next meeting we'll have we can get, I didn't ask Dory for it this time, but maybe next time we'll get how much these vendors have given us over the past, every month, so we can kind of work around those numbers and figure it. I mean, paint night, obviously they only do it once a month.
If that,
Once a
yeah.
month, so
Once every other
it might
month.
be $75 for them to rent out for that time or something like that. So, but yeah, the town does want us to get away from the 80-20 split. Let's see, and then also in that as well, like we have the Steam Up program, who doesn't really use the lodge but uses outside and things like that in the bathrooms and stuff. So I mean, we'll have to go through vendor by vendor and figure out which one is going to be a better fit for each of those vendors. Not necessarily to make a profit off of the vendors, because we don't want to do that, but we want to make sure that we're at least covering our costs and having a sustainable.
And I guess too, like the other thing is like future vendors. What is it going to be, like case by case basis?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it would mostly. I envision it would mostly be, we have the 80-20 and then we have the standard rental fee. And if somebody comes in here and says, I want to sell popcorn out front, right, and they can give us a receipt for it, then they'd be the 80-20. But if they come in here and say, I want to use the lodge for a theater, or a theater every Friday or something, we'll be like, okay, it's going to be this set price per time that you use the lodge if there's no events there.
Okay.
So, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Dory, do you have anything to add to that?
No, that sounds great. The next meeting, I'll just pull each vendor so you can see the revenue that we've received for each one.
Yeah, each one,
Give us
yeah.
a good idea of what to charge.
Okay. How hard is it to draw up another license agreement with a flat rate?
Oh, easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'll do is I will entertain a motion to start working on a vendor license agreement with a flat rate that does not have the 20%. So we'll have two agreements: the 20% and then the flat rate. Just so next meeting we come here, we can figure out who goes in which bucket and where they would kind of go. So I will entertain that motion.
Second? No. Second motion to.
Motion to move. Okay. And then I need a second.
Second.
Okay. Second from Sheila. Okay. All those in favor, we'll do a roll call. Sheila,
Yes.
Melissa,
Yes.
and Frank is a yes as well. We can do that. Awesome. Next meeting, maybe not. Yeah, maybe next meeting, because the next meeting will be in August. Maybe we can get the vendors here if they have if they're interested in this topic. Maybe we can send an email out to all the vendors and say, hey, we're going to be discussing the license agreements for the renewal in October. Feel free to come. This is kind of the plan that we have, and we'll let you know going forward. So at least give them the opportunity to come here if they have any issues with it. Awesome. Okay, next discussion is vote on weekly rental rates for cabins and tents. I'll let Dory take this one over.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's something that just came up. We actually have two separate parties camping in the North End. One of them has been here for 2 weeks, and she raised the question, as did the other party, raised the question, do you have weekly rates? And said, no, we don't, but maybe that is something we may want to consider. I don't know if you do, if it's something like, in my mind, I'm thinking maybe $5 off a night for a week, something like that. Or not, it's not like anything you have to do, but something that I thought should be discussed, if that's something that...
Because it's just daily rate right now, right?
Right now, it's a daily rate. It's $60 a night for a cabin and $30 a night for a tent site. So I didn't know if you wanted to, make a concession if it's a week or for 2 weeks, $5 off, or something like that.
Okay. Any discussion on that? No? Does anybody have a number, or does anybody have a objection with doing a weekly rate?
Would it be like 5 days?
Like 7.
7 days.
It would be 7 days.
7 days. I mean, I have no problem with $5 off tents and then $10 off cabins a night if it's weekly. So
Yeah.
and that kind of
Yeah, honestly, that sounds realistic. I mean, anywhere, if you're familiar with camping, which you guys are, I mean, you find that everywhere. So.
yeah, weekly rates are
Yeah.
pretty much standard, and it's usually about that
Yeah.
that amount. So
So it would be, if it was $60 for a cat, it would be $420 for the 7 days. So how about $20 off, make it $400?
Yeah.
yeah, you can do that. $400 off. It's not $400 off. Sorry, $20
$20
off.
off.
So okay, so how much is the how much? So it is $420 for the cabins, and then how much is it for tents?
$210.
210. So then we'll take $10 off for the tents.
To $200.
Okay. Do you want to make that motion?
Sure, motion to give a discount for a weekly rate for the cabins of $20, so it's $400 for the week,
Okay.
for 7 days. And then for the tents, it would be $200 for 7 days, $10 off.
Okay, great. Do I have a second for that?
Second.
Okay, second by Sheila. Okay, all those in favor? Sheila?
Yes.
Melissa?
Aye.
And Frank is an aye as well. So it'd be $400 for the cabins for a weekly rate, and then $200 for the tents.
Great.
Okay. Okay, and then future monthly meeting. So that's the next item. So I don't think we really need to meet every 2 weeks. We kind of do that. There's not really a reason for us to meet every 2 weeks. So one thing, I would like to switch to monthly meetings, and then we would like to put it back at 6 p.m. like how the Board of Selectmen meetings are.
Yeah.
So just get it a little bit earlier, not like we're here for.
Because it might go longer.
Yeah, it might go longer. So, okay. So I will entertain a motion to make our meetings monthly, with the contingency that if we do need to meet, we'll meet, right? So just be aware of that. So make our meetings monthly, and starting at monthly meetings on Monday, starting at 6 p.m.
Can we still, so Dory, I do like how you do like the weekly update email, like just to tell us what's going on, if anything,
Well,
you know what I mean, like how
Yeah.
you do that? I like
Yeah,
that.
still continue with the
Still keep
updates.
doing
Yeah.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd like to think I'm pretty in tuned to what's going on here, so anybody can give me a call too, and I can
Yeah,
update if
don't
it's
worry.
not available. So, yep, Sheila.
Will we set a date? Will it be like the first Monday of the month, or is it going to just?
We can,
Something like
if you want to do like the first Monday of every month or something like that, we can definitely do that. Or I would just base it more off of kind of when we decide, so we'll book, let's say 2 months in advance
Okay.
for what we have, and then kind of like what we've been doing, and
Okay.
at the last meeting we'll book the next 2 months and then stuff like that.
All
So.
right, I can work with that.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. So we'll do that. So do I have a motion to change the meeting frequency to monthly on Mondays at 6 p.m.?
Motion to approve.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor? Sheila,
Yes.
Melissa,
Aye.
and Frank's, and that's yes. Awesome. So that's great. Okay. Under old business, we have the budget, which Dory's going to get ready for us for fiscal year 22. I'm hoping when the numbers come out, they won't be bad. We'll be bringing over some money into fiscal year 23. I hope so.
Yeah.
So we'll figure that out when we get there. So there's that. Anything else in the old business story?
No, I don't have anything else. Thank you.
Okay. Actually, one thing under old business, I'll put this under. Margaret reached out to me about 3 weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago now, about doing stuff down at the Cove, having people there, as she has a couple lifeguards, and she'd like to come down and be like a swim director for the Cove.
For next summer?
She was talking about this summer, but we really can't do it this summer. It's kind of too far in the season now, but I absolutely do want to get it ready for next summer. So I'm going to have Margaret come back to one of the meetings, maybe in September or October, and then we can really start the process in September or October of getting everything that we need ready for next year, and then we can get everything approved, if we need to get it approved, so she can come under the Camp Kiwanee umbrella as a beach director.
I was going to say, so she's interested in being the beach director.
She's interested in being the beach director and coordinating the whole beach activity down there, because I have a feeling that next year we're probably going to approve opening up and doing passes like we did before, just so we can subsidize the beach and make sure that everything's all set down there, lifeguards and things like that. She has a perfect model of how she did it back in the past. So I'd be interested in getting that ready for next year. If we need to go to a town meeting or something like that, we can kind of work through that process. So that'll be in a future meeting. Maddie?
All I was going to say is that a couple times that I've closed the code, I've had a couple people ask me about like the way the code used to run and stuff. A couple people asked me about swim team, which is something that they used to do back in the day. I just wanted to put it on the radar that people have been curious about this old swim team that we used to have, which is, I think, from Margaret's era. I think she's from her.
Yeah, I've heard about that, the swim team. I know a couple people, not a couple, maybe two people have brought it up to me before. I'm in the position where we just get it working now with lifeguards before we start a swim team.
But I'm sure that might be on Margaret's radar too.
You know what?
It has to, because she's worked with.
If we get to the point where she's the beach director and she's running the lifeguards and she wants to do something like that, and it doesn't cost us really any money, or if we have enough money to do it, then that's like, I think that's completely fine. But as of right now, we have a dire need for getting somebody down there, lifeguards. She can run, collect the money, do stuff like that, and kind of get that process. And I know we've been saying for at least the past 2 years that we need to get it going, but it's just never happened. So hopefully if we start in September this time, we can go through all the town meetings if we need to get anything else. And
yeah, the other thing too is, a lot of the issue is getting them certified. So, we could talk about, do we cover the cost of getting lifeguards certified? Or at least a percentage of it.
Yeah, I mean,
to get them hired. The other issue is the hourly rate for the lifeguards. It's super low right now.
Yeah.
I mean, we can table this and talk about it as a whole, but
yeah, we'll have to run some numbers to figure out what would be reasonable for the lifeguards there, an hourly rate, how much we're expected to bring in by permits, how much we would charge for those permits, and things like that. It all kind of goes into the question, right? If we're going to charge $20 per person to go down there a day for a family or a car or something like that, and we have 50 cars down there, then that covers that kind of issue. But the problem is we don't really have any good statistics about what it is, what it brought in now. I can look at what it did back in the day, but
it usually covered everything. Like it covered the lifeguards. It basically broke even.
And that's perfect.
Yeah,
I would love it to break even if it dipped a little bit into the budget. I have no problem with that, but it can't just be all in the camp budget. So there is that. Okay, any more discussion about anything with old business? No? Awesome. Team reports. Does anybody have anything to report? I kind of did the call.
I just wanted to bring up, and I love this, the wasps.
The wasps, the sand wasps, yes.
So I was there yesterday.
Yes.
They're back.
Yes, they are.
And I was talking to the guys out front. I was there from 2 o'clock until about 4:30. They were there. They didn't bother me. They're ugly looking. They're scary looking. And there were kids, and they weren't going after people's foods. They were pretty tame. They're looking for bugs. They're looking for other insects. Nobody got stung. Nobody was like freaking out. I just wish there was some kind of organic solution that we could use to move them along. I know that we've talked about digging up the beach. That's probably the end game. But at this point, I don't know. Do we bring in an insect expert?
We did it last year.
I know that you researched, but
we've done it last year and it didn't work. So they had some organic. I don't even know what to call it. It wasn't like a pesticide. It was a pesticide. Let's just call it that. It was an organic pesticide that was supposed to be safe for people. Because the problem is we can't go down there with off and just spray it off, or whatever the chemicals is. So we've done that. They said that the best deterrent is the tarps. I mean, I don't agree with that, but we can't spray anything down there because conservation will need to be involved for it. They're very not. from the last time we spoke, they're not for that. They definitely don't want to spray anything down there. And if they're not bothering people, then it is kind of what it is at this point, right? It's just like a yellow jacket's nest that's down there or something like that. So
I just don't, I think Roger had a conversation with Gil, if they do get worse, Gil's going to shut down the beach. That's what he
yeah,
just
so I had a
said.
conversation with Gil today too. A lengthy conversation with Gil today about a couple things. So, if the Board of Health wants to shut down the beach because of the sand loss, that is their prerogative, and they can shut it down if they want to. But I'm not gonna bring it here to shut it down. So it's swim at your own risk. People know that. If they don't like the wasps there, then they don't have to get the wasps there. It's gonna be 90 degrees out this week. Next week's supposed to be hot too. So, if he could be hanging from the rafters over there at Town Hall before I do. So, if he wants to shut down the beach, that's all on him.
Yeah.
So, Roger.
I've talked to several people on the beach that are there day after day, and they say nobody's getting stung on them.
Yeah.
The bees are minding their business, and they're minding their business. I walked through a whole bunch of them the other day, not trying to get stung, but trying to get stung, and they wouldn't even bother me.
Yeah. They're just like everything else. There's snapping turtles in that lake too. So.
It's actually funny because I was watching them, right? I was sitting in my chair, like watching them.
Yeah, they do
and they
go-
go after the dragonflies. They go after other insects. Like literally, the bee just went right after the dragonfly. I was like, okay. I was like, well,
so
it's not going after a person. So.
I mean, I'll put this on the team reports. I talked to Gil about a couple of things today about the Cove as well, and he's saying the trash and stuff like that, the testing and things. So, I told him very nicely that we're doing everything that we need to do, and we can't really do more. So, unless we shut down the beach, if we shut down the beach, that will solve the trash problem. That will solve the wasp problem. That will solve the pole problem. That will solve the people having sand on the dock problem. That will solve pretty much all the problems that we have. But unfortunately, it's the only place in Hanson where you can actually swim. So.
And I do appreciate the caretakers cleaning up and picking up the trash and doing all that.
Yep.
Can I make a suggestion on that through you? Can we schedule, instead of halfway through the day, cleaning the beach, it should be done first thing in the morning as it's opened up? One, because of people.
Yeah.
And two, if you're traipsing through all the people, and especially these hot days, there's not that much beach showing. So how do you know what's their trash and what's not trash?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that'd be something that we should probably schedule. Have somebody come in for an hour every morning when the beach comes up and just clean out the trash and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'll diverge to Maddie on that because Maddie does the scheduling. So.
I want to see it first.
Because you said afternoon, so I did afternoon. I don't
Yeah.
know if I did up to the morning shift.
Yeah. If we could just do one in the morning, because Gil does go there twice a day. So.
Like 8 o'clock even.
Yeah. So, but
Clean
yeah.
the trash.
So yeah, we'll do that, and then we'll keep on top of it. It hasn't been that bad.
Yeah.
I've been checking down there. So.
This morning was terrible.
Well, that was because of the weekend too.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was but it hasn't been as bad as it was the first week.
I think
don't
this
know.
week it'll be pretty packed down there.
Yeah.
So, the other thing too is I think the light bulb in the bathroom is out.
No, the switch was off.
Switch is off.
Where is the switch? Because I was looking.
On the other side. I turned it back on this morning when I was down there.
Okay.
I think you might have turned it off when you finished up cleaning it.
I just told me to shut it off, I shut it off.
No, I leave that one at 24/7.
Okay, so the last thing for team reports is we need to get ServSafe certified. That was another thing that when I was at the Board of Health today. So I need to figure out how many people actually want to get ServSafe certified, and then we can have somebody come here and do a class of it, how much it's going to cost and stuff like that. So I'll have to figure that out. But that's going to be something that we need to do. Not everybody needs to do it, but we need it. If we're ever at a function here where we serve food, we need to have somebody who's ServSafe certified to do that. And also, any events, like our vendor events that have food or drink, anything that's consumable, somebody needs to be ServSafe certified there also. So
Yeah.
I don't know if any of our vendors are doing that, because I was told today that somebody thinks that our paint night vendor has like food or drink or something like that.
No.
Okay, so there is that.
Unless the attendees brought something, but she doesn't serve food or anything like that.
Okay. That is it for team reports. Actually.
Oh, sorry, one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just saw that the oven in the stove is close to being functional and signed off on. I was thinking, were you going to reach out to the firefighters about the breakfast and having it here?
I will do that tomorrow because I forgot about it, but I'm going to do that tomorrow because I want them to have
I know,
it.
and if it's
So,
it's
yeah.
almost functional, so
Yeah.
they'll
So
be able to do it.
are we still waiting on the electrician for the? Is that no?
No, Roger, I thought I would give you a complete update on the
Okay.
caretaker.
No, that's fine. We'll do it. We'll do it in a minute. We'll do it. In a
While
minute.
you're on the subject of ServSafe,
Yeah.
can you research it or get it in writing whether we have to be ServSafe when a vendor is here?
No, we do
You
not.
always tell me we have.
We do not have to be ServSafe when a vendor's here. That's their responsibility, not us.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. And they should be and I. That's another discussion I had with them today too. But if the caterer's here and they're running through their whole kitchen staff, that is their responsibility to be serve safe. It's not us. So it must have been a miscommunication. Must have thought if there was like a vendor here or something, like we have a vendor here that's like our vendor on contract that does it, but that we don't really have any vendors here that are on contract that serve food or water. If we had an event here that we needed to serve food, then we would have to be serve safe. But if a caterer is in here, that's on them to be serve safe. So.
He's contradicting that. That's between you and him.
Okay, so okay, great. Departmental update, Dory. Welcome back from vacation.
Oh, thank you very much. Good to be back. So, a little bit of good news. So we are working with our IT director, and he's found a new company that deals with surveillance cameras. And so we're thinking about purchasing more cameras for the camp, and they'll be installed by Charlie Baker and Steve Moberg can install them themselves. So it'll save on the expense tremendously. So we just put one up at the Cove, so there's now a camera on the Cove. Today they were up and they're going to put one on the gatehouse that will get all the cars coming up.
Oh, awesome.
And then we'll put, one in here and by the front door and then a couple even out by the cabins we can do. So that's very exciting. So,
Is it wired into the system that we have now?
Yeah, it will be, yeah.
Oh, it's all going to work together.
Yep.
Okay.
So I don't have any information yet, but just so you're aware that's going to be happening, which is great, and it's much more affordable than going through. We're currently going through and then paying all that money.
So that's going to come out of our budget, though.
Yeah, we have that article, so we do have the money for that.
Okay.
That was the knob and tube wiring, and then we added the cameras to it. So we
Got
have
it.
the funding
You're
for
right,
it.
yep.
So they're handling all of that.
Good.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I'll keep you posted on that.
Great.
And I think that's all I have. The rest, I think Roger has updates on all the other stuff that's going on here.
Okay. Awesome.
I have a question.
Sure.
Do we have to update contracts then to notify people that they're going to be on video as opposed to just putting signs up around?
I know you put signs up that say
Yeah.
surveillance. Yes,
Yeah.
this is currently.
You talk about like the contract for renting.
Yeah, people who are renting, do you have to notify them ahead of time in any sort of writing type thing?
That's a good question.
I was just curious.
Yeah,
know.
I don't
It
think-
just popped into my head,
I don't think you would. I don't think there's anything in our contract that
like
says
just your
Security.
signs or.
I think if it was going on social media, then you'd
Yeah,
have to let
true.
them know
Yeah.
that. But I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think we're not putting any in here though, right? Like in this hall, like right
Probably
here.
one in here,
Okay, where would something like that be?
right up there.
Well, there's already one in the bar that faces out here.
Yeah, but it's
Just
that.
captures your route.
Yeah, I just didn't know like if. I mean.
But we can,
Yeah, we
nothing
can-
will happen without your.
Yeah, we can discuss that when it happens. I don't know how. I mean,
It depends on how big they are too.
Yeah.
yeah. If it's
I think it would be
small,
good to have one out here, but
I think so. Because if something happens, a fight breaks out, or who knows
Fight
what.
breaks out. it's my kind of wedding.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No. That's
I do
fine.
have one more thing, Mr.
Okay.
Chairman, I just remembered. The town has a new insurance carrier, and they've come out and we're fully insured, where we actually weren't before, if you can believe that. We were for replacement costs, but we weren't for liability. We never were. So that came to light. So we are now. So we're
Great.
fully on board. And originally, they had told us we were going to have to put fire extinguishers in every cabin, but found out today that's not the case. Only the cabins with electricity. So
Oh, good.
that's no problem.
Okay, cool.
And we may be able to, Charlie Baker may be able to get them for us secondhand. So
Awesome.
just so you know that. So
Great.
and I was thinking if we do like the electrics, the large electric and the small electric, if we put them in there. I think we should only put them in when we're renting, because kids will come in and.
Yeah,
and
They
Take them out.
expire, you have to be
Ask
careful,
them.
they expire too.
And they expire.
So
yeah.
you have to replace them.
Yeah, so I think we
Just-
keep them here,
yeah.
but once we rent them out, get a fire extinguisher.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome,
Thank you.
great. Anything else on departmental?
No.
Awesome. Caretaker report. So I'll go to Maddie first.
I think too exciting. I just have two event questions. So I talked to Renee because we only had one struggle this weekend. We've only had two of the double events so far, where we've had an event, morning event, and night, which have gone great. Except this one, we just like didn't have time. There was like a time mishap. But I just asked Renee. Renee's great. I've worked really well with her so far. So just if we can make sure that there's a bigger gap in between, just because the hardest part of those double events is getting people out of the building after their event.
Mm-hmm.
Like weddings, it's like we're used to like them taking a while, and we're cleaning, we're just kind of stuck here. But when there's a second event coming around then, we have to try to kind of get them out as quickly as possible. And it's just kind of like the way of going about it is tough because you don't want to like push them out the building.
Yeah.
It takes about a half an hour and then really get them to go, depending on how much stuff they have.
Yeah.
And then, do we have any policy in place in regards to if we have the 75 and under, if they don't, if they can self-cater? Do we have anything in place where if they tell us it's going to be under 75 and then more than 75 show up to an event? Like when they give us a different number of people to show up?
So, man, it was like people were in the office when I was talking to Gil today about this stuff. So we actually spoke specifically about that, right? So if there's more than, this is my opinion. I don't know. Dory can correct me if I'm wrong, but if there's more than 75 people in here when they didn't file a food permit, that's something that is what Gil is supposed to do. Like, I mean, that's supposed to be his wheelhouse. I mean, we can't really. I don't know how we would enforce that.
I know. If it's 75 people or over, you must have it catered. So
Yeah.
if somebody applies for 60 people, and then that night 80 people walk in.
So that's per
what do you
Board
do?
of Health though, right?
It's
So
the Board of Health
do they have
regulation.
does the Board of Health have an emergency number we can call?
Yes. Yeah, they do.
So then,
Yeah. So we would have
We'd
to
have
call.
to get Gil here.
We'd have to call Gil
And say
here.
we have a situation, we've got 80 people, and our paperwork indicates 60.
Has that happened?
Before.
I mean, like, was it recent? Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if I want to be specific.
Okay.
yeah.
Just happened
And I
Friday.
it just happened.
Yeah, Friday.
I didn't know if I don't want to say anything else so soon. The
Yeah.
other part too is the bar gets overwhelmed because they're only send so many people out based on the numbers. So if
Right.
they go over, the bar gets kind of hit really hard because they send servers out based on the people.
Yeah.
So the poor kid that was in there got killed because he was by himself and there was more.
Slammed,
Right.
yeah.
I mean, I don't really know what we would do to.
You want me to check with Gil tomorrow?
Yeah, if we could check with Gil tomorrow about that, because we can't really do anything about that. Like,
I
what?
don't know what our procedure, they're not going to come here. Gil's not going to check every event and see how many people showed up. So like,
Yeah.
if you're standing here staring at them, what's our procedure? Like, what do we do?
It's not. It's not like we would charge them more for more people either. So it's not like if they, we charge them linens and stuff like that. But if they have 75, say they had 60 and they brought 80, then like, it's not like we're losing money out of it. So
No.
it's kind of,
Right.
it's kind of a weird situation. But
I'll ask Gil.
yeah, yeah, and he definitely has some. He's
And he has the
readily-
power to shut it down. I mean,
Yeah, he
you
does.
know.
Yeah, he does. He does have the power to shut down, or he can talk to the person who's in charge of the party and say, "You got to boot 10 people out of here," because you're not supposed to have this many people here. He'll probably do that, but I can't speak for him. But that's his wheelhouse. So, okay. Okay, is that all good? Jen, do you have anything? No, good. Okay, Roger.
Okay. Update on the kitchen. We're 98% there.
Okay.
I'm waiting for the fire department's inspection. That's going to be Wednesday morning at 8.
Okay.
That's going to be for the fire extinguisher system. I'm waiting for the gas inspector. They were notified by the plumber to take care of that. And I talked to Gil today, told him we're ready for him to come down and take a look at the kitchen. And I told him all the other 2 inspections I'm waiting for. He did not say when he'd be down, but I'm sure he'll be down real soon.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I spoke to him about that today
Once those 3
too.
are done, we're ready to go in the kitchen.
Okay. Great.
I'm at their mercy at this point.
Okay. Great.
I've got about 5 more ceiling tiles that I've got to put in, but it's a matter of putting the metal in and then cutting the tiles into place. The other day was getting pretty hot up there, so I didn't finish that day. But that'll be done within the next week, 2 weeks tops.
Okay, great.
Cabin replacement, I met with the contractor and the excavator today. They are ordering the pillars. As soon as the pillars come in, they should be delivered either this week, next week at the very latest. They will dig the holes and start placing those in and start building that cabin down the south end.
Okay.
Now, do we have any issues with people renting the south end while construction is going on?
You get yellow tape. I'm going to be taking the areas
Okay.
off as time progresses.
Okay. Are there any big machinery that's going to be up there?
Yes.
Okay.
There'll be machinery digging 4-foot holes.
They're not going to leave it up there though, right? They're going to probably take it with them because they just have to dig the holes. Then the excavator's probably going to go.
They'll do it all in one day.
Okay.
Okay.
So, but it won't be like an excavator over there for like 3 weeks or something like that.
No.
Okay, great.
Worst case scenario would be 2 weeks, but I believe it'll be one day. That's what they're hoping for. On that cabin, we're not going to be able to put it up front to be even with the other two. It's going to have to stay set back like it was before because of all the tree roots.
Okay.
Otherwise, we'll be involved in taking more trees down. We don't want to damage roots any more than we have to.
Okay. Awesome.
We talked about that. Services, we talked about that. I'm good.
Okay, awesome. So the other thing I just wanted to mention, it's not on the agenda, but October town meeting's coming up. So their warrant is going to be opening tomorrow. The Board of Selectmen is going to open their warrant tomorrow. So if you guys have any fantastic ideas for October town meeting warrants that we can use here at Recreation, let me know. And we'll have that on our next agenda as well. But it's going to be a little bit of a time pinch between the next agenda and the October town meeting because their warrant closes, I believe it's last week of August, right? Their warrant closes.
I don't know if they've set a date or they're gonna set a date tomorrow night.
Okay.
Close it.
Yeah, I think they usually keep it like a month open or something
Yeah,
like that.
usually
So
like September.
okay, awesome. So we can go ahead and set our next meeting date. I'm gonna need.
Not that it matters, but I know you already did at a prior meeting, you set this meeting and then August 15th. If you want to keep that meeting.
Okay. Yeah, we could keep. Yeah, we can keep August 15th. I think that still works for everybody. We may have to. It may have to change that maybe to. We may have to change that maybe to a little bit earlier, depending on when the warrant closes. But we can go ahead and keep August 15th for right now.
Okay.
Yeah, like for if the warrant closes, August 16th or something like that.
Oh,
then
is the
we'll-
meeting at 6?
Yes. 15th at 6.
Okay.
Maddie?
Is it going to interfere with the movie night that's on the calendar?
Oh.
The meeting at 15th at 8?
That's isn't that at the library?
I don't know, it just says movie night, so I just wasn't sure if it was here or the library. I just wanted to make sure.
Did they already do the one in the library? Oh,
That one's at
that's
the-
a classic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, didn't they cancel that one, Dory?
I forget now. Let me check.
I thought it was in Kanto and Great Outdoors.
Yeah,
I think
those
Parent
two.
Trap got canceled.
I think so.
So what we can do is we can check that, and
Yeah, I'll check
if
that
we need to
tomorrow.
reschedule it to another day, then
Yeah.
we'll reschedule it to another day. I mean, we could always have it like is everybody here like the first week of August?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I mean, we could always have it like the first week of August, and then just keep like you said, the first Monday of every month or something like that. We can keep it
Yeah,
going.
I'll
that
check
way,
out
so.
the movies and the warrant tomorrow.
Awesome. Great. If there's nothing else, I think we're all good. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion made by Melissa. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second made by Sheila. All those in favor? Sheila?
Yes.
Melissa?
Yes.
And Frank's a no. Passes anyway, though.